Watch a master illusionist at work. One hand flicks a coin, completely capturing your gaze, while the real mechanics happen entirely out of sight. The brain is tricked into focusing so intensely on the spectacle that it entirely misses the actual technique right in front of it. We enjoy the thrill of being fooled on a stage, but it raises a question. Does daily life operate on this exact same principle of misdirection? Human attention is wired to lock on to immediate, high-intensity events, and while we are staring at the flash and the noise, we are often completely blind to the larger reality unfolding at the exact same time. Think about the typical dramas that consume our energy, the sudden joys, the deep sorrows, and the unexpected changes in our daily routine. In the heat of the moment, a single isolated situation expands to fill our entire field of vision. It feels as though it encompasses the entire universe. It is similar to watching a toddler drop a toy. To an adult, it is a minor inconvenience. To the child, losing that specific toy in that specific moment is a genuine, world-ending catastrophe. And because God operates as a loving father, those immediate toys, your personal pain or your specific joy, are treated with care, simply because He cares for you. But we have to maintain context. Our micro-level struggles are entirely valid, but treating them as the main event is a flaw in our perception. The toy is not the main show. To see the actual main show, we must pull focus from our immediate surroundings and look at the unseen architecture operating in the background. This background structure is God's eternal plan. It operates with precision, completely distinct from the random chaos we usually perceive. This diagram illustrates the scale of that difference, as described in the biblical book of Isaiah, chapter 55. What starts as our isolated perspective rapidly scales back to reveal a massive, highly structured network. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Unlike the temporary trick of an illusionist, this overarching structure is absolute. It is a guaranteed reality, not a sleight of hand. The true nature of our existence is not determined by the flashing lights of temporary events. It is governed entirely by this unseen, structural work. Yet we constantly prioritize our immediate desires, fighting for them as if they are the only things that exist. The Apostle Paul addresses this exact flaw in 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, radically reframing our daily struggles by placing them on a new temporal perspective. Look at this timeline. That microscopic, highlighted sliver represents an entire human lifespan, holding every trouble and triumph. Now watch as we zoom out. That sliver shrinks to insignificance against a line stretching out forever. This is eternal glory. Paul reveals a startling paradox. Our light and momentary troubles are actually the active mechanism achieving that permanent glory. The temporary pain is doing the work. Mastering our perspective requires a deliberate choice. We must consciously pull our eyes from our current circumstances and fix them on that infinite, unseen timeline. When a person successfully aligns their focus to that macro timeline, a psychological shift occurs. The crushing burden of trying to manage every outcome lifts. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, states the underlying design of this main show. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This chart demonstrates the ultimate failsafe described in Romans chapter 8. Those hundreds of scattered, chaotic events are being pulled into alignment, actively woven together for the good of those who love Him. Understanding that the overarching architecture is inherently good entirely removes the human burden of micro-level anxiety. This shift has a very practical application, found in Philippians chapter 4. We are instructed to replace our panic with prayer. The ideal mechanism is simple. We present our specific micro-level requests while remaining deeply anchored in macro-level gratitude. But this brings us to an incredibly uncomfortable reality built right into the middle of this system. If the overarching plan is flawless, and if God genuinely loves us like a father loves his children, Why does he sometimes flatly deny our most desperate requests? We are left staring into the profound, often painful mystery of divine silence in the face of our absolute, most urgent imperatives. Reconciling a loving Father with an unanswered prayer is the final frontier of trusting the macro plan, and it is exactly what we will explore in the next video.